We only have four discussion items. The first is engineering service proposal, and that's with a SFRF grant. And like anything else, we have to bid out for our engineering on, that's a water and sewer.
The water lines.
Water line in District 2, I think, mainly. And so that's out. I don't know where that stands right now, except we've got their numbers, and they all get a score, and that's basically.
Yes, sir. Everything was scored out. There's only two engineers that applied. One was Hofstadter and Associates, and the other one was Beck and Wood out of Atlanta. Based off of the qualification, it's a standard statewide qualification form. Hofstadter would scored the highest, which means that they would be our engineer for that project, which I would hope so. They've already drawn the plans for it. So,
Are there any questions about that? I mean, it's basically it's a scoring system, and top score wins. So, and they drew it like a year ago.
Yes,
or more than a year. It's been a while, yeah, because
before
we went
we
back
knew
and
the
forth.
money was going to come available for.
I'm sure they're still good. Number two is the Public Safety Retention Incentive Program, which is a lot of words for trying to keep good people and rewarding them for staying, I think is basically what that is. I mean, Chief Wright probably knows more than anything about this, but something that several of us have talked about for a while.
Yes, so this is basically a base pay incentive for public safety employees of 10% of base pay based off of last year's salary. This doesn't include any overtime they worked or anything like that. Basically, statewide and law enforcement, everybody is bumping pay tremendously to keep people. This is a way to do that would keep us kind of in line with what everybody else is doing, except it would allow us to do that and require a contract type deal where essentially we'll give them that 10% bonus, and they sign a contract that they'll stay with us for the next 12 months. And if they leave before that, then at a prorated rate, divided out by 12 months, they would have to repay that. But that would bring their base salaries up to pretty much what it is around everywhere else. If you'll notice that, all the newspapers, in fact, the county just upped pay for, countywide, but tremendously for their deputies, which is something that's been needing to be done. And I think we're going to continue to see this. It's just hard to find people that want to do this job. And the lucrative offers that are kind of going on everywhere, it makes it even hard to keep them. So this is a way to reward our folks, and at the same time, this is something we can look at and manage on a year-to-year basis of how much that would be based off of how our budget looks, and we're not overrunning the salary so high that if something happens, we've got to look at furlough days, or we've got to look at reducing staff or anything like that when budget time, when revenues aren't as high as they are right now.
So is there any question or discussion about that?
So this is not performance-based at all. This is just to retain.
This is just that, and hopefully by next year we'll have the complete program, and we might do something different. I'd love to see citywide for us to be able to do a merit-based incentive program, but we just weren't ready, and we've got everybody else around us going up, so we've got to look at something pretty quick.
This is a 10%, not a bonus based on salary, but a 10% increase in the salary.
It's a 10% one-time check. At one time, they will receive that money, and it's more like a bonus. They will receive that money, but then they'll be under contract for 12 months for their employment with us. If they leave early, however many months early, they would have to repay the city for that amount.
Rolling 12 months, or is it going to start in like January and end of December?
It'll start July. This would be in our new budget. It would start in July and roll to our. It would stay with our fiscal year. That works out best because if y'all remember, in the January time frame, we're just now getting everything back from the auditor, and we see what like this year our revenues exceeded our liabilities by about $140,000. So we can look at that as a that's kind of tells us where we can look at and what we can do with that kind of stuff, because that was revenue that we brought in that we didn't expect to bring in.
Anything else? I mean, I think it's a great idea. As everybody who's in business knows, you're chasing these salaries now and you're chasing wages, and I mean, this is a chance to actually reward your own for loyalty. And
Only that we have,
yeah, and it's hard to fill. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you want to keep who you have, and you want to give them a. So I mean, I think, and again, in the budget, it works. And then, as the chief said, then next year, you can see exactly, can you expand it, how you do it, how you change it. So I think it's genius. Anything else on that? Number 3, Technical Assistant Services Agreement with Southern Georgia Regional Commission, which again is just something that we have to do to maintain our relationship with Regional Commission. So there's a copy attached, and it's, no offense, just a lot of legal words that say that we to continue their services. Yeah. So there's really nothing outstanding, just a new thing. So I assume we'll accept that at next week's meeting. Nobody has any problem with that. Which brings us to next week's big item, number 4, the 22-23 budget, which we will be voting on next Tuesday. So at the session, before we get to that vote, are there any issues or questions with that budget? We've had it for more than 3 months. It's old news now. And again, it's balanced. Line item, it's pretty clear. This is the time that if there's any questions before we vote next Tuesday, I think we've all seen it. Anybody has any discussion on it? If not, we can go to where we need to be to at 5 o'clock, right? If there is anything? Anything from the phones? I forgot you all.
We're all good.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, now I gotta look that up? I'll go to Chuck, because his paper copy's right there. Mine's on the computer. 359123. That was good, though. How I got that right off the top of my head? What was that last year?
Just add 200.
There you go.
That's 3.775.
It's a little. Any other questions? If not, thanks for phoning in, you two.
All right, thank you.
We'll see everybody next Tuesday, 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock right here.